I had been born and raised in Mississippi, went to Mississippi State undergrad, and had been gone from the state for about 10 years. And in that time, I had been working with a lot of startups and spin-outs. I was actually a finance manager for a bigger company, but we were looking at acquisitions and spin-outs at the time, so looking at a lot of different business cases. I was then contacted by the Mississippi Technology Alliance about the potential for coming back, and I really jumped at the opportunity because I wanted to come back and work with early stage, mostly startup companies, but some bigger companies that are focusing on innovation. And so over the years, I've now been here 8 years, I've been working with hundreds of those companies, and it was an opportunity to get back home and work with companies here in Mississippi and take some of what I'd learned, and then frankly I learned a whole lot on the job. I mean, we see 125, 150 companies a year, which means we're seeing everything from pharmaceuticals and very high-tech things to patented oil filters. But anything that's proprietary, that can be brought to market with a protectable advantage and that's not bankable. I always say that the easiest way to remember is MTA is all about hippies. But those hippies are high-performance, innovation-intensive enterprises. And these enterprises may only make up about 6% of the economy, but they're going to make up about 2/3 of the job creation. And so they are companies, and they're not all technology companies. We have technology in our name, that's sometimes a little misleading. But we drive innovation-based economic development. So companies like Viking Range and PV Electronics are certainly innovation-based companies, although they're not typically IT companies. And so we work with individual companies, helping them put together an investor-ready business plan. We introduce them to investors, and we have a network of investors that we introduce them to. We also manage for the state. Although we're a private company, we're nonprofit, but we manage for the state seed fund, which is a small amount of investment the state can put into companies. Separate from that, we work with communities to help create an ecosystem around innovators. And then we really cover a broad spectrum of companies, every industry sector, but we have a very deep dive in alternative energy with the strategic biomass solutions, and a very deep dive in manufacturing with our manufacturing extension partnership. So we generally would literally 1 hour have a pharmaceutical, the next hour have a mechanical part of some type, but we're very deep in strategic biomass solutions and in manufacturing.
Your office is out here in Ridgeland. You got BCI, Baumgar right down the road. Do you think Mississippi could become like another Silicon Valley or Central Mississippi? What kind of promise do you see for technology companies here?
Well, I think that it is interesting. There are several. Paragon building where Baumgar is also has a kind of a serial entrepreneur. We're calling Clark Love, who founded and sold a company, is there in Paragon Center. If you move on up the road, there's a little company owned to locate and Silver Fox Communications, iVox, and Mad Genius also here in Ridgeland. So particularly here within a few miles, there really is becoming that critical mass that you need. That's really important because if Baumgar is going to bring someone in from California, and they do that to work, folks will do that to work for Baumgar. They may love Baumgar, but they want to look at the next opportunity as well. So they want to see that there's going to be another company, SmartSync and North Jackson, some of these others, that would be other technology companies they could work with. And so that's critical for attracting and retaining people. But it's also, I think, important just for mentorship. We have an entrepreneur in residence program, and so those experienced entrepreneurs need to be mentoring the younger ones. And so I think that's an important piece. I don't know if I could say we're the next Silicon Valley yet. I just came back from Dallas at a technology showcase there. I'll tell you, they don't have anything more than we have in Mississippi. They're not any smarter, they're not doing anything we're not doing, but there are more of them. And so their group of serial entrepreneurs that may jump into a company numbers a couple of hundred versus a couple dozen. And so building that capacity is very important. But I have seen, it's been very good to see, we can see the same person now with one company that was with two previous companies, and maybe they're only interested in the startup space. And so as this company grows to be more than 100 employees, they then go with another company that's 10 people. And now they've moved a couple of times. And so it's good to see that kind of cross-pollination in terms of those people.